Tonight, we go beyond the noise deep into the facts, the strategy, and the fallout. I'm Jennifer, and this is Inside the Story, only on NewsDecoded. Tonight, we unravel a hidden timeline that could shatter Trump's carefully curated image. Melania's rise, elite Manhattan parties, Epstein and Maxwell in the shadows. Tonight, we're tracing a timeline that digs deeper than the usual gossip. She carried the allure of Eastern Europe and some serious networking potential. It wasn't long before a man named Paolo Zampoli spotted her potential. Zampoli was a modeling agent who thrived at the intersection of fashion and real estate and was already known in exclusive elite circles. Through him, Melania gained access perhaps for the first time to the Kit Kat Club, a Manhattan hotspot where wealthy businessmen mix with models and paparazzi cameras. The New York Times reports in 1998 that Melania and Donald met at one of Zampoli's Kit Kat Club parties. That moment of introduction took place right before a whirlwind of major changes, both for Melania personally and for the political stage in general. As a fashion model of some promise, she may have fit some criteria, but considerably accelerated access for U.S. citizenship? That raised eyebrows. If you stop to think about it, many Americans, fully deserving of legal status, wait decades. Yet Melania's path was quick and aligned suspiciously with her connection to Trump and his world of influence. The phrase porn star hooker was allegedly used in private calls, revealing a deeply personal, even bitter dimension. Accusations of plagiarism followed, sparking debate over sincerity and integrity. Was it a rehearsal flub or a deeper alignment of messaging and image control? Russia's state media even weaponized Melania's past, circulating nude modeling images as political mockery, suggesting that the story was never just personal, it was geopolitical. These private moments leaked during the trial showed a woman both poised and deeply hurt, an emotional fracture beneath a polished surface. The story goes that Zampoli introduced Trump to Melania in an environment packed with models and cameras, with the kind of high-end ambience that only New York's wealthiest could replicate. Will we overlook the power brokers who helped this union and how that very system is the same one that funnels refugees through obstacles? Will we ignore the personal statements draped in political consequence? Your support helps us keep digging, questioning, and exposing what's hidden behind the headlines. It seems almost cinematic. String lights, flashes on camera, a woman who would later become America's first lady standing out in the crowd. And is the American dream sometimes just another performance? Let us know your thoughts below. Melania, once celebrated for breaking into the elite world of fashion, later found herself in conflict with it. She launched a meme coin, sold nude photos honoring her modeling past, and even commanded staggering fashion fees, spending tens of thousands on personal stylists. One where image and influence override principles, and the beautiful story of a refugee model takes on darker hues. Meanwhile, Trump was gearing anti-immigrant rhetoric at political rallies, words so harsh they drew comparisons to concentration camps or alligator Alcatraz, as critics called it, yet his wife benefited from systems he derided. For Trump, it's a reminder that the foundations of his power were never solely political, they were social, performative, and rife with contradictions. For Melania, it is a story of transformation, a shift from the catwalks of Europe to the corridors of White House influence, all while navigating shadows. It begins in Manhattan with an elite party scene that linked a young Melania Noss with one of the world's most controversial men, and it all started long before she became America's first lady. You've probably seen the headlines: Donald Trump's darkest secrets, his ties with Epstein and Maxwell, and the curious timing of his relationship with Melania. In 1996, a 26-year-old model from Slovenia named Melania Noss stepped into New York's glitzy world of catwalks and glossy magazines. It is the sort of contradiction that forces us to ask, how much did access to wealth and proximity to power influence that process? Trump's inflammatory remarks from the infamous Access Hollywood tape, the crude locker room talk clip, Melania responded by calling it boy talk. Then came the birther conspiracy, which Trump pushed on Obama, even while Melania echoed it. And yet, as Stormy Daniels emerged on the public stage, Melania stayed silent, famously skipping the State of the Union address. Was that defiance or simply discretion? They were wild nights filled with loud music, exotic animals like tiger cubs and alligators, and a roster of stunning young models. He was still in the thick of building his businesses, yet clearly comfortable within the same circles. Just that year, tabloids like the London Sunday Mirror scrolled out rumors of his romantic interludes with models. One story involved a young British model named Anushka DiGiorgio, who Trump was said to have whisked off to his Florida estate at Mar-a-Lago. The same affair reportedly included dinner guests like Epstein-Maxwell. This was not just a photo and Vanity Fair, it was a window into a pattern of elite parties, jet-set adventures, and murky relationships. Among the guests were powerful names like Jeffrey Epstein and Epstein-Maxwell. Epstein, then a financier close to society's elite, was already cultivating connections with the ultra-wealthy, and Maxwell was his right-hand partner in building that empire. Just a year later, in 1997, stories began to swirl about the Kit Kat Club's infamous parties. And somewhere within that mix, Donald Trump made his appearance. So how did Melania connect to all of this? We need to pause on that moment. Imagine being new in the country in a world fueled by image and power. In 2001, Melania applied for and received an extraordinary ability visa, sometimes called an Einstein visa, designed for world-class talents, Olympians, Nobel laureates, geniuses. She later brought over family members under family-sponsored immigration, exactly the kind Trump would later criticize, referring to it as chain migration. And let's not ignore the narrative shift in later years. There's also the question of emotional toll. Those closest to Melania, like her former friend Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, describe a woman who reportedly became enraged when Stormy Daniels was featured in Vogue. Beyond the emotional narrative, there's political theater. In 2016, Melania's speech at the Republican National Convention bore uncanny resemblance to Michelle Obama's 2008 speech. The layers continue. It's worth noting how this story stitches together power, privilege, and public personas. As we pull the threads together from Kit Kat Club introductions, to Einstein visas, to political hypocrisy, to emotional backlash, you see an unexpected portrait of American power. What does this all mean today? And for us, the viewers front and center, we're left asking what narratives we choose to accept. As you think about it, ask this: does power always protect the privileged? If you found this deep dive compelling, make sure to subscribe to News Decoded and never miss an episode of Inside the Story. Thanks for watching. I'm Jennifer, and I'll see you next time here on Inside the Story.